Well, hello and welcome to the VK6CS Fun with Amateur Radio channel. Okay, well, I've had some dinner, watched a bit of TV, had a couple of cups of coffee, and I thought, let's have a look at this thing. I mean, who in their right mind is going to put countersunk metal collets into here that are connected to this fingerstock ring in here that connects to the valve anode? It just doesn't make any sense. And of course that's not the case. So there's a meter there. It's on the ohms times 10,000 range. I don't know if you can see that, can you? Is the glare getting to that? A bit glary. There we go, it's a bit better, isn't it? The usual level of preparation. So we'll go from one of these things onto there, nothing. It's on the ohms times 10,000 range. Go from that one, open circuit, and even this one is open circuit. So it's actually broken down inside. It's broken down inside here. Actually, inside this stuff here, it's broken down, the insulation. Although looking at that, I mean, that's not very far, is it? I mean, that's probably only a bit over a centimetre. I haven't got a ruler handy, but I don't know, a centimetre and a bit between the anode ring there, the fingerstock that connects to the anode radiator, and whatever this will be bolted to. I'd still say it's going to have to be bolted to a plate made of an insulating material. You certainly, even with that gap there, it wouldn't be a really good idea to bolt that to metal. I should have actually looked into that, really. But anyway, so these things, I thought, well, you know, I can't believe you'd have all these countersunk collets connected to the anode, the fingerstock in here that connects to the anode ring, and they're not. So yeah, that's a shame, that, because it's quite a robust thing. But well, it appears to be quite a robust thing. I mean, this is probably quite old. I suspect that's probably why it's you know, it's broken down inside and flashed through to there, from there to there. That is actually quite encouraging, though, because it does sort of suggest there's a bit of RF there. Right, now I had a look at the bottom half of that valve base once I took the top off, and I thought, you know, because it actually screwed to this. It screwed to this through the aluminium plate. And I thought, well, if I screw the bottom half of the valve base to the aluminium plate, then I've already got a sort of a socket that's directing the air up through the anode, because the bottom of it is just a sort of raised. It's a raised, effectively, it's a raised bit of sort of Bakelite tubing, sticks out through the metal about a centimetre and goes round, and the valve sits a little bit proud of that. So I thought, well, what I could do as a temporary measure, something that would allow me to sort of continue playing around with it, is screw the bottom half of the valve base to the aluminium plate, which is what I've done, and then just fit a bit of PVC over the top. So I went down to the local hardware store, had a look around what they had in the way of pipe fittings, and that is a perfect fit. Well, it could be a little snugger than that, but you know, the air is going to go mainly through the anode radiator, simply because of the tube that's below that is slightly smaller than that in diameter. So it's going to, most of the air is going to come roaring out and go straight through the anode radiator. I'd be very surprised as much air comes around the edge, comes through around the edge. So I know PVC is not the stuff to use, and it may very well, the valve may get hot enough to distort that, but just to allow me to continue fiddling around with it, to see if I can optimise it to get a decent amount of RF out of it, I think that will do. So I'm very nearly back in business. The PA module can go back in, and I'll get a nice ring connector, put a bolt in there. Not quite sure what that thread is, but I'll find out what that thread is, and stick a parasitic suppressor on it over to the RF choke, and I'm back in business. And if it's all good, what I'll probably do is I've looked around at what people are saying about these things, and I think somebody uses 100mm turbo silicon tube for turbos, car turbos, and it's made to withstand high temperatures and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, that sounds great, that's perfect. So I popped into a car shop today to see if they had any, and he said no, but he knows where I can get some, and so I'll probably pop in there at some point and pick a bit of that stuff up. And because I'll have to cut it, I'll be able to cut it a little bit lower than that, because this is just off the shelf, this thing. And I bought a 100mm pipe, or outdoor rain pipe, what do you call those things? Drain pipes fitting, which goes round it very nicely, but it's too wide to go on it with this thing here. It just looks wrong, you know. It's just not a very good fit. So when I get the silicon tube, the turbo tube, I'll make it a little bit lower, so that clamp will go on there, and then there'll be a tab on it with the parasitic choke, which will come off of there. So I think it could be fitted in the middle there, but it's going to look a bit clumsy, I think. So I'll put the ring connector on there and the parasitic choke. I don't know, I'll see how it looks. Anyway, it's getting late, as you can probably tell, because I'm umming and ahhing a little bit more than I normally do. So I'm going to go to bed. What's the time? Blimey, it's 10 to 12. So I'm going to upload this video, and because you know, a 10-minute video takes 3 or 4 hours to upload with my glacial internet speed, and I'll publish it in the morning. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.